Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. It's Tony here, your favorite YouTuber, and welcome to yet another review of a discounted phone. Now, the Motorola ThinkPhone 25 was released in 2024, 2 years after the release of the original Motorola ThinkPhone, which was retailing at the time for £800, guys. Now, this phone released 2 years later, it was retailing for just £450. So it kind of makes sense. ThinkPhone Lite, something like that, and I thought that it's quite expensive back in the day, that's why I didn't buy it. But now it was reduced to 225 or £250 on Amazon. Links in the description below. So I couldn't resist, I pulled the trigger, I gave the phone 2 weeks time, and now it's time to let it go. Because it's not a bad phone, but it's not exactly what I need for my daily driver, guys, and here is why. Now, according to the Volokin Spectrum scoring system, where I've tested over, well, about 200 phones on my channel, I score each and every phone in a couple of different categories, and I very rarely do that, but have a look at the Volokin Spectrum scoring system. I gave this phone a solid 39 out of 50, which is a solid score, guys. However, if you're interested to know why I gave these scores to these particular categories, stay on to the video to learn more. Now, what's inside the box? I did a separate unboxing video, so if you're interested, you can have a look at that. Now, something else I would like to share with you guys is my experience with the case. That was the case that was included in the box, and as you can see, all these scratches over here, I always kept the phone in my pocket. They were literally there from day 2, guys. Even the first day, the first couple of days. Check this out. Have a look at that. I just made a scratch which doesn't clean off. And the thing is, this particular case makes the phone feel extremely cheap, guys. Why that is? Simply because it's made of a horrible and lightweight, to be honest with you, plastic material. But because, have a look at that, guys. Look at that. Underneath, the phone is so nice, guys. It is so nice. You have the carbon fiber feel, back, and you can definitely rock the phone like that. Leave it on the table. It is not going to break. Now, this phone has some sort of military grade specification tested or something like that. All I'm gonna say is glass is glass, and glass breaks. Don't drop this phone on the glass. If you drop it on the back. Of course, I'm joking. Don't drop this phone, guys. Don't rely on the military grade specification. I had an HP Elite X3, I think it was the name, Windows phone back in the day. I dropped it from my desk and it cracked the screen. So it had military grade specification. Now, why it feels a little bit cheap? Because all the sides over here, guys, are made of plastic. The positive side, the phone is 170 grams, guys. Super light and pocketable device. Now, if you think about comparing to the original Motorola ThinkPhone, how much smaller it is, well, check this out. This is a case for the original Motorola ThinkPhone, and as you can see, it's not that big of a difference. However, in terms of pocket size, this one is definitely, the better option. So I guess in this video I'm going to answer the question as well. Is it worth getting the original ThinkPhone? Because currently in the UK it retails for $250 on Amazon, and this one as well is $250 on Amazon. So for the same price, which phone is better? But the answer is not that simple. There are major differences which might steer away from one phone or the other, and the major difference is the camera. Of course, on the ThinkPhone the camera was almost useless. On this phone, this is another story, guys. It's not the best, but it's definitely getting there, and I'm happy that Motorola finally put a proper Sony sensor over here, but I'm gonna talk about the camera a little bit later on. Now, let's start with the security, guys. Fingerprint is not the fastest in the world, but it's very reliable, and it unlocks 100% of the time. I never really had to add another fingerprint sensor or anything like that. On some phones, every 2 weeks you have to re-register your fingerprint to keep unlocking. Face unlock, a little bit on the slow side, but again very accurate, and there has never been a case that I cannot unlock the phone, guys. 100% unlock rate. Now, quickly, let's talk about the screen. 6.36 inches screen. It's the resolution is higher than 1080p, is 1200 by 207,000 or something like that. So not a 1080p screen, a little bit higher. The colors are really nice and boosted. It's a flat panel, and also it gets super bright on auto when you're outside, guys. If you're here in the UK for the 2 weeks of sunshine that we get throughout the year, you need a bright screen, guys. So screen wise, I cannot really complain. In terms of the Android experience, well, you have stock Android, well, 15, and yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. It looks a lot like the Pixel, but of course you have the Motorola gestures like double chop to to activate the flashlight, double twist to activate the camera like that. So you have some goodies. Also, there is a way, of course it's in the options, to get rid of this pill over here, the navigation bar, and also you can actually control the full screen on the application, something that the original Pixels, for example, are missing, which is very weird, guys. The only thing you're missing is the battery statistics. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and something else that I really like about the battery, by the way. Let me show you. Battery usage, when you go over here, there is no screen on time, guys. You cannot check your screen on time, which makes me sad. I mean, come on, how can we miss that? However, there is a solution for that, and I'm going to make a separate video. It's really easy to do, but I wish it would have been baked in. One thing that I really like, guys, check this out. Battery info. How many times you have charged the battery? When was the first time you have actually charged the battery? And how much is the battery health status? Now, this is amazing, guys. This is the first time that I'm seeing that on any other phone, rather than the iPhone. And you have all of this super useful information. So when you buy a second-hand device, you know what is happening, guys. I'm really happy to see that. So kudos for Motorola, or I don't know, on the Pixel has it. Let me know in the comment section below. Have you seen any other phone who has that? I personally haven't used that many new phones, to be honest with you. Mostly devices when they're cheaper, 1 or 2 years old or something like that. But anyway, there is no themes, there is no other customization, but I'm definitely very happy with this setup, guys. One other thing you have to keep in mind when updating the Motorola device is that you're going to get every single monthly update separately, guys, which means that I have spent the first 6 or 7 hours of ownership of this device installing the updates one by one. I'm not sure what's the purpose of the dynamic updates and everything, installing updates of the background and all of that, when you actually, they don't have the previous update including in the next update, if that makes sense. Every single update must be installed separately, which is a big pain in the butt, but there's something that you have to go through, I guess. Now, the battery itself is about 4,300 milliamp hours, something like that. And although you shouldn't expect miracles, actually the battery life is quite good, guys. Sometimes on the worst day, I'm getting about 5 hours of screen on time, and on the best days, I'm getting 7.5, 8 hours of screen on time, which is good. And to my usage, this is absolutely perfect, guys. Somehow, I always end up charging the phone overnight. It's definitely enough for day and a half, something like that, in my usage. So battery life, I can't really complain. The charging times are pretty good as well. So 50% in 15 minutes, guys. 30 minutes, 88%, and full charge in 40 minutes, guys. This is definitely good enough. I'm very happy with the recharge times. Now, in terms of speakers, you have one at the bottom over here and one tiny little hidden speaker over here. Unfortunately, the distribution is like 70% over here, 30% over here, and the quality is just not there, guys. On the positive side, it is super loud, guys. It is very loud. It's a little bit annoying, I must admit, but it's very loud. So in loud environments, you would be able to hear what is happening. So I'm really happy with the speakers in terms of, if you're in a loud environment, they're getting the job done, but for quality, not exactly the case, guys. Something else I feel that I should mention is the quality of the earpiece of this phone. Now, I've already talked about the speakers, but the earpiece is something else. While on a WhatsApp call or a normal phone conversation, you can hear very clearly, and it is very, very loud, guys. Probably one of the loudest that I have ever heard in my life, which is a little bit strange, but it's definitely a positive. So yeah, thumbs up for the speaker volume. What else can I say about this particular device, guys? Let's talk about something else as well. We need to talk about the performance, and the performance wise, they used a MediaTek 7300, I think it was the chip, which is a 4 nanometer chip. However, it is using an old architecture, guys, which means that the phone is sometimes struggling with some applications. And I'm gonna show you something very quickly. Let me see, where is that setting, guys? It was some sort of a gaming setting inside a phone. Let me see. For example, you're gonna start Streets of Rage over here, game mode over here. Okay, on the game mode, you can actually add more games or applications to the games, guys. For example, I have put eBay as a game simply because I can tweak the performance after that, and check this out. I can put the performance on, check this out, turbo, which makes a difference, guys. So if you have any issues with particular applications with a little bit of a lag, this is a workaround. You can set any application to go on turbo mode, and it definitely makes a difference, guys. So sometimes, every now and again, I'm getting some stutters. Every now and again, I'm getting a little bit of a slowdowns. If I'm trying to do something quickly like that, let me just remove this one over here. But yeah, sometimes it takes a little while to actually get the job done of some quick tasks like that. For example, installation from the Play Store takes ages with this particular device, guys. Overall, is very snappy. As you can see over here, the screen is 120 hertz, by the way, which is very good. That makes it feel so snappy like this. But once you loaded the phone, once you got your applications and you want to do something quicker, well, it takes a little bit of time every now and again. And now the surprise about the gaming experience, guys. I thought there's not even a mid-range chip, 4 nanometers, okay, fine, but whether it's going to run Wreckfest or not. And I placed my bets, and I was like, you know what, that phone, there is no actual way that this phone is going to, run Wreckfest. But surprisingly, guys, on almost high settings, medium settings, something like that, the game runs fine and is definitely playable. I'm really not sure what tricks, what optimizations have they done on this particular device, guys, but games run surprisingly better than you expect with, let's say, medium to high settings over here, guys. Check this out. This is Wreckfest. I'm going to put the sound on just a little bit. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike or anything like that for the audio, but check this out, guys. This is definitely good enough. Keep in mind, I'm filming in 30 FPS at the moment, so you're not getting the full picture of how good this game actually runs, but it runs pretty well, guys, and I'm definitely very happy. Now, if you're interested, there are just a few games that I'm playing right now. Wreckfest, the other game, well, Call of Duty, I don't play this much, only for testing purposes. Last Z, this is one of the games that I play, and of course Streets of Rage 4, guys. So next up is the benchmarks. Have a look at that. I was pleasantly surprised of the benchmarks, and that was one of the reasons that I thought actually that Wreckfest is not going to run, guys, to be honest with you. But have a look at this. Have a look at this. Now, ThinkPhone 25 by Motorola, 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, guys. 99.5%. Absolutely no throttling, guys. The phone runs at 100% performance all the time. The score is quite low, as you can see over here. However, check this out. Battery life only 4%, guys. Usually phones take between 12 and 20% just for this 20 minutes test. This phone took only 4%, guys. And the temperature, check this out, 29 to 31 degrees. That's absolutely unbelievable. I've never ever seen any other phone have such an amazing statistics over here, guys. So definitely you can play all day long. It's not going to affect the battery life, which is absolutely amazing, guys. I'm really happy about that, actually, about this phone. And now let's address the camera situation, guys. At the front, I have to look at my cheat sheet, and we are talking about let me see, 32 megapixel Samsung S5K JD1. You can have a look at a few examples of the selfies over here, but overall we are talking about almost Oppo level of details, guys. Of course the colors are a little bit off, for example on this photo over here, but I definitely like the details. And also in terms of stabilization, you actually have 4K 30 FPS. Let's have a look at the quick example over here. Okay, guys, and there's the selfie camera of the ThinkPhone 25, 4K. I'm actually surprised, to be honest with you. 32 megapixel Samsung unit with stabilization on. If we switch 60 FPS, it goes back to 1080p, which I'm really not interested in. It's 2025 overall. So when we run, we get a result like that. All right. Okay, guys, so let's move on to the main cameras over here. I'm gonna start with the worst camera, which is the 13 megapixel ultra wide Galaxy Core GC1382, which is not very good, guys. I took a couple of photos. On a first glance they look okay. However, when you upload them to the computer, when you have a look at them, for example this one over here on the left, you can see on the fence that there's quite a lot of noise on this photo, guys, and it's not actually that dark. So it shouldn't be like that. And also, for example, in this photo over here, the colors are totally off. Everything is blue pretty much, so not too much optimization on this camera. Now, the other camera over here is, let's have a look at the cheat sheet again. You can see the type of slowdowns that I was telling you about. Did you see what the phone did over here? Now, we have 3 times telephoto lens, 10 megapixel Samsung S5K 3K1 camera, which in a typical Samsung fashion is making up details with AI rather than capturing actual detail. You can have a look at this photo over here, and I'm not impressed by this camera. It's nice to have a 3 times optical camera in particular situations. However, I really didn't have enough time to take enough number of photos to tell you if it's that good or not. But from what I can see over here, guys, it is not very good, unfortunately, in my experience. And now the main unit, guys, the saving grace is a 50 megapixel Sony IMX896. Now, that was my main gripe with the original Motorola ThinkPhone. They've put a low range, not even mid-range Galaxy Core camera on their flagship. And that's what I was saying. If you can't do the optimizations properly, you need to go with a Sony sensor and let it be. And I'm happy to report that it's not that Motorola is listening to my opinion anyway, but that's exactly what it did over here. They've put a flagship camera, the optimization is good, so the results are quite good, guys. Let's have a look at a couple of examples here, but I'm very happy with the majority of the photos. The portrait mode is good as well. I'm not sure if I have a proper example to show you. If I have, I'll show it to you over here as well. Now, in terms of the nighttime photos, they're usable, I would say. Again, I'm gonna have a look at the examples if I can show something or not. And finally, in terms of video, let's have a look at this one and see how it looks. But we have 4K, we have stabilization, which makes me happy. Okay, so testing the 50 megapixel main camera of the Motorola ThinkPhone 25. It shoots in 4K but only 30 FPS. When you put 60 FPS, it reverts back to 1080p automatically. But anyway, let's have a look. When we run, we get a stabilization like that. And let's just test quickly the autofocus. Okay, autofocus works fine. And since you're inside the camera and shooting the video already, you can do 2 times or 3 times digital zoom, but you can't switch between the cameras while you're filming. So guys, it's time to conclude this video. Motorola ThinkPhone 25 5. Is that a good buy? Is it worth the money? Am I impressed with the phone? Well, to be honest with you, I'm impressed in terms of that finally they've put a proper flagship camera for the main camera. Of course, the selfie camera is quite good as well. The rest of the cameras, they definitely need improvement. But, you know, this one is actually holiday approved, guys. You can go on a holiday, take good photos with the main cameras, take good selfies with the selfie camera, take videos with the stabilization. This is what you need for your holiday. So it's all good over here. Now it's a little bit cheap looking, even with the nice back cover over here, guys. It doesn't look like a 500-pound phone. Definitely 250, yes. And for the amount, you know, the good battery, the relatively good gaming performance, and all of that, it's a nice, convenient, easy to live with phone, guys, from a reputable, you know, manufacturer. And by the way, I really like the coating. I kept looking through this coating throughout the whole video, guys. Look at this coating on the camera lens over here, the purple one. I'm not sure if it's cutout size coating or anything like that, but anyways, so overall I'm happy with the phone. However, I'm not convinced that it's actually worth 250 quid brand new, because 250 quid, guys, there is plenty of options nowadays. There are so many phones, it's unbelievable. And when you talk about, you know, second-hand devices, oh my god, the choice is so big, guys. And the thing is, I don't see any kind of particular reason to go with this phone. Only thing I can think of is that it doesn't have the you know, glass back, so you're not gonna crack this. You can definitely carry the phone like that. But the other thing which I can think of is, if you need a very lightweight compact phone, this might be a good option, simply because although it's a little bit smaller than the ThinkPhone, it feels much smaller, it feels much lighter, it fits any pocket, and again, you're not gonna crack the back, and most probably even if you drop it on the sides, who cares, it's going to survive. So it's not gonna be that bad if it was aluminum or you know, any kind of other metal, of course. So overall I like the phone, but it's just guys, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult to recommend you know, over other devices. For me personally, I would go for some Oppo phone, for example, but this is just me. However, I'm happy that Motorola is putting some effort in improving you know, their products, and they're going in the right direction. And that's something new, because for years and years they've been producing some very uninspiring phones which I haven't been interested in. So finally, maybe I'm gonna get another Motorola phone soon, simply because this one, it's okay, guys. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, are you using this phone currently? Did you watch this video for validation? Do you agree or disagree with me? I would love to hear your opinion, guys. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Adios.